from the teams that are available for this hackathon, the first one is top categories that said this. It's relatively new, and Celo, if you look at Celo mission and vision, it is really about like building a better world, impacting, serving the underserved, serving the underprivileged. And so Refi, on the other hand, which is regenerative finance, which is all about like promoting health finance, is something that is called carbon offsetting. So for those that have not heard of what carbon offsetting is before, big companies like say Coca-Cola, for example, or huge companies that are manufacturing companies that when they manufacture things, they release a lot of CO2 to the atmosphere, which damages the climate. So one of the things that these people do, like, normally that is being done by these people is called carbon offsetting, which is data. Now I've zoomed it a bit. All right. So as I was saying, what they do is something called carbon offsetting, which is they would pay some people that does this carbon offsetting, which is they would acquire like a huge span of or acre of lands, like span of land, and build trees in order to. If you are a big company and you are emitting a particular amount of CO2, you pay this company. A platform like Toucan, which is built on Celo, they wants to like purchase carbon offsetting, they can purchase it as a token from this particular company on the blockchain. That means it's registered, and as you know about blockchain, anything written on the blockchain is not changeable. It is a final state and it's open to everybody. So you know that this company that is releasing this Toucan.heads, you can check it out. This company that is releasing this CO2 into the atmosphere is actually and truly correct about like the offsetting that they say they are carrying on. That's one part, on the part of the company. And on the part of the organization that is allowing for carbon offsetting, it will also show that once they have claimed to offset this carbon, once they've sold this, right, that, this has been offset, this has been used. And the second example I'm giving is impact market. And then what impact market is actually trying to do is make what is called like UBI, universal basic income, available to like very less and privileged people, like people that rely on like less than maybe $1 per day, which even way less than that. People that have hardship with getting access to. Yeah, so the website is donate. Like people go to Impact Market, choose a cause that they want to donate to, like they donate, and once they like donate a particular CUSD, they get the Impact Market. Shouldn't be hard. Just think of how you can serve humanity, how you can empower people, how you can help like solve like a global scale problem like in Nigeria. And they are very commonplace. You can always find them around. Maybe farmers, maybe cooperative, maybe just think of it. Another example that might help you like be able to like think very well is, I know there was this particular idea that came out one time like that that CNN picked up, and that was in Lagos, where there is a school whereby parents cannot afford to pay for their school fees because of like the low income that they are earning, and the area is like people that are very poor, I think Ajegule or so, and then parents will just go out and pick plastics waste. That was something that they did. Also, they are also like under like the refi category, plastic.io. So put together is just a no loss betting platform where like people like save money, and then it's a lotto, actually a no loss lotto platform. So the way like around that area, right, and Pull Together is one of them. And another way again to generate idea for DeFi is just look at Ethereum, look at Polygon, look at like the most popular chain that has like a lot of app built on them, and look at the ones that are not available on Celo, right? And when you're looking at the ones that are not available on Celo, try to always put into consideration Celo mission, which is being mobile first blockchain, which is trying to like serve the underserved, which is trying to like give back to humanity. Try to see things that kind of align in that way, like a lot, in order to like have your idea. The things that Celo is expecting for that category is you should build like community like POAP, like these are like NFT, like given to people for like proof of attendance, like for graduation. It's really about proof of attendance. That's what like POAP is for. And then there are also NFT that you can also excuse me, I'm trying to admit someone. Yeah. Also, there you can use NFT for things that is close to refi a bit, which is I would use that plastic example again, which is for people you would get the vibe that people will start raising money for them and things like that. You could build a platform whereby you use NFT to represent like a problem or an individual. For example, if you want to raise money to fix an infrastructure in your community, you could build a platform whereby people can mint NFT. For example, where when that NFT is minted, a lot of people, like a price will be placed on that NFT, and a lot of people can come together and buy out that NFT. Like that NFT could be fractionalized and be owned by everybody. So when, for example, that NFT has been fractionalized and given to everybody, everybody that owns part of that NFT get a particular token, and that token can be used for governance, right? So things that has to be social impact, you can use NFT to represent. To represent that, something like that. You can also, like an idea, something that I've also like touched on before, personally myself, you can also use NFT to like represent like real estate, and then which kind of like leads me to the fact that looking into what is already existing, right, in other ecosystem, in other blockchain will help you decide what you want to build. For example, when I joined an hackathon recently, myself and our team, we built like an NFT platform for real estate that helps us like tokenize like a particular real estate property so that many people can buy into it, right? Now, the idea didn't really stem from the fact that we thought about it ourselves and it's indigenous. We just looked at what Fractional.art does. Fractional.art is a platform where people that owns like very expensive NFT, let's say NFT that are worth $250,000, and they don't want to sell everything because they think it will rise in the future. They can like fractionalize it into smaller pieces, maybe like $100, whereby people can buy small part of it, right? So that was how we kind of find the idea. Oh yeah, people can fractionalize art. Why not so that people can buy into it? Why not just let's fractionalize NFT tool and use that to represent property so that people can buy into it? And we pretty much just fork over the code of fractional.art and then developed and built on it. And it was kind of like faster for us. It was kind of like faster for us to like build and develop. So in this hackathon, I want you to, like I said, look at existing ideas and build on them. So like from other blockchain and see how you can develop on them. That's like another angle you can play on. So if there's any question, now is the time to ask before moving like to the fourth team, which is like DAOs. All right. So in the absence of any question, I'll move to like the fourth team. The fourth team for the Celo Hackathon is DAO, which is DAOS, that's Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So this team can be pretty like not very creative if like there are not a lot of like DAOs as there are much DeFi, NFT, social fi, gamify. There are a lot of like DAO out there. But the idea that I could come up with, if you are looking at DAO, is which also Celo kind of like on the Celo Hackathon page, that is also there. You can look at Heritage DAO. Um, Heritage DAO being, um, for example, think of like um, in Nigeria, there are like several heritage that are really, maybe let's say the Oduduwa Shrine, some museums that you see that are not like being like kept, they are not being like kept well as a tourist attraction. You could build something around that whereby um, people can join the DAO, and once they join the DAO, they can like donate money, maybe donate Celo in order to like and then there will be like maybe like a treasury on the side whereby people can make decision, like people can come up with it. People that make decision are those that are actually part of the DAO that has token, and the token will serve as like the voting power that you can make on decision. People can make proposal such as, let us build like a new infrastructure or a new structure for this shrine, or maybe Obafemi Awolowo lower library, anything like that you get can be done. Like that's like example of things that I've come up with. Like, oh yeah, you can do with DAOs, which are like pretty much common. There are like other things that other research that you can do in order to like make this work. Um, and for example, for you to understand DAO, you can look at A protocol. They have their own DAO. Combat protocol, they do have their own DAOs. You can look at their DAO, and Celo itself has something like that you can also look at. But for DAO, that's one thing I was thinking about. And a second idea that popped out to my mind is, I mean, for students, also that can be like something that can be useful. You can build something around, I mean, your SUG decision in a university is not transparent. Like, it's just being made by the top people. Like, you can build a system using a DAO whereby everybody in the school can get involved in decision that has to be made. Like the SUG makes a proposal, like anything that has to influence like the whole students. The SUG makes like a proposal, and students in the school can make a decision, can vote that proposal based on like a token that they own, and then the more token you have, the more voting power you have. Like that also is another idea that you can build around like DAO. And then there is the gamify team. So the gamify team, basically, it's really about like play to earn. It's about engaging people. I don't have like much idea around gamify, but I would really appreciate if anyone has idea about like gamify and can drop it on the chat. But what you can do in order to generate ideas around gamify again is sort of like Google ideas. Google like existing, like it really just works, to be honest. Like the best gamify platform that have been working are just pretty much copied by like other chains, right? And then, like I said, it kind of makes like half of the work done for you, because their smart contracts are open. It means you can just fork their smart contracts and build on top of it and get people on Celo. I mean, if you have like gamify builds, yeah, I see some suggestion by Paul on Ethereum, and people are like getting involved in it. I mean, if you build that on Celo, the cost and gas price and all of those things are even like way more cheaper than Ethereum. So that's like even like more incentive to get people on board to be able to like deploy and build it on Celo. And the second to last thing that I would like to like discuss and explain is social fi. So social fi is like social finance. Basically, it's sort of like picking some part of like DeFi, but then is about like involving like a bigger much people. Like again, it's about like a collective means of bring, like it's not for profit only. Think of it that way. Like on like DeFi where it's like earning, yielding, all of those things. But then it's to be finance, but then it's not for profit only. Like one idea that pops up in mind that I think people can think around is around, think around like cooperative, right? Cooperative is like a good place that you can integrate like social offer. Like cooperative is something that is huge and big in Nigeria. And I love cooperative. And then you can actually, build something around that. There's cooperative, there's Agile, like anything around, you know, that kind of thing. You can actually like incorporate like social finance into it. So that's like, and I don't see like a lot of people doing something around that. The only platform that I see doing something around that is Zen Finance, and they are deployed on Binance Smart Chain. So you might want to look them out in order to be able to like come with an idea. But then that's something you should look into for social finance, cooperative, agile. You should look into like doing something for that. And the final category is Celo Composer. Excuse me, I'm trying to admit someone in. So so far we've talked about refi, we've talked about NFT, we've talked about DeFi, we've talked about DAOs, we've talked about GameFi, we've talked about SocialFi, and the final category is the Celo Composer category. Now, Celo Composer category is a wild card actually. So to explain what Celo Composer is, Celo Composer, as I mentioned earlier, is like a framework that helps like developer from Web 2. So if you have not been building on Web 3, which is like blockchain before, and you are coming from Web 2, and maybe you write React, Flutter for writing like mobile app, React JS, like what Celo Composer does is it has like all of these things as like a layer, like a framework packed together, and it has like components and tools available in it that you can pull things together, and you can like come up very fast with like your app, your Web3 app. That's what like Celo Composer is. So for this category, it is just like an added category. So and what I mean by that is, if you are building your idea in any of those categories that I mentioned, any of those earlier teams that I mentioned, which is like refi, NFTs, DeFi, DAOs, GameFi, SocialFi, and you build with Celo Composer, right? You are going to win an additional. You are going to be, you're going to have the opportunity to win additional prize. So aside maybe winning by building on either teams, and then your idea was selected, and then you pass several stage, just by using like Celo Composer, right? You also qualify for additional prize. So if you do not win any prize and use Celo Composer, and you're part of the top people that use Celo Composer and your idea was accepted, you just by using Celo Composer. So far so good, that I've been able to explain all of the teams available. Before we conclude this the part one of this session and move into like introduction to Celo Composer, I would like to know if anyone like has a question about everything that I've laid out at all. If you have any question right now, does anyone have any question? And also, I would also like to know, for those that already have existing ideas, I would like for you to like signify if you already have existing ideas, or you would be you are just want to like you just want to like create your own idea maybe by tomorrow or something by tomorrow. Please let me know. I would like to know if you have existing idea. Please signify. For anybody that has existing idea that they want to submit already, please signify. All right. So I take it that everybody do not have like existing idea. They just like want to like come up with like new ideas. All right, great. I have an existing idea with a few team. Okay. Damilola has an existing idea. Elisha has an existing idea. All right. Okay, good. For those that do not have existing ideas but think they'll be able to come up with one in the next 2 days, because the registration closes on the 25th. But if you know that you will be able to come with new ideas from like the explanation I've given, and I will still be available to like further help you refine your idea if you want to. Anytime, just reach out to me on the group. Please let me know. Emmanuel, you have a question? Please ask.
Hello guys, I joined a little late, so I missed out on the refi section. So I was hoping we could like could get like a recap on like the ideas around like refi.
All right. Okay. Um, Please, I want to know, do we agree like to kind of like do recap a bit? If you don't mind, you can just drop an emoticon like on the chat for me to know. I will just like quickly take a recap of refi. Okay, David, Mike, all right. Okay. All right, so I'll just do a recap. As I explained earlier for refi, refi category is like the biggest category for this hackathon, right? And it's like, to be honest, where Celo team is like looking at really really well. So for refi, one one of the three like example I gave is the first one is carbon offsetting, right? And I explained carbon offsetting as there are companies, big manufacturing companies that release a lot of like carbon CO2 like to the atmosphere, right? And then there are some other company on the other hand that what they do is like they acquire like very large planted with like offsets that carbon, right? So in order to like make the world a balanced place, to make the world like equal, what this company do is they pay this organization, this NGO mostly, to help them offset this carbon. So what they do is, we reduce maybe 1 ton of carbon per month, right? And in a year we reduce 12 ton of carbon. I don't really know how it is measured. I'm just using tons, right? Now, they would pay the organization that does that, they will pay them that equivalent amount of money to help them offset that carbon. In this case, what it means is just planting trees. Now, the problem that stems from that is, like the problem from Web 2 perspective, that stems from that is some company or some company can claim that we actually paid for 12 tons of offsetting of carbon to an organization. And in actual fact, that organization only has the capacity to just like offset like 6 tons, right? And that same organization again can go about to collect the same amount of money from other companies to say they want to help them offset. So it starts looking like, I'm a scam and it's not straightforward. But comes the blockchain, right? With the blockchain, the company that does the carbon offsetting can mint like several tokens on the blockchain, for example, and say, we can offset 20 tons of carbon, right? Now, the company that wants to offset their carbon, say a big manufacturing company, just knows that, we want to offset 10 tons, and then they go on chain. They don't even have to go to like the company and have a meeting. They just go, the token is already there. They just go on chain and buy that token, and then that token is burnt. Now, everybody can see on chain what happened. This token was minted by this organization to offset carbon. This organization want to offset, this company want to offset their carbon, manufacturing company purchase this, and like that, very clear and open, right? And one company that is currently doing that is Toucan Protocol right now. Toucan Protocol is helping with that. In life, for example, there are farmers that are in communities that they don't have like well part like in this like aspect when it comes to like giving back. So just think of idea around that. So so and CNN, like I know CNN picked up like the school, which is like a school in Ajegunle where they are very underprivileged. The parents are unable to pay for school fees. So what the school accepts is the school accepts that the parents will go out and pick like plastic waste, and then they measure it, and there is like an amount that the plastic is worth, and then until they're able to use that to pay their children's school fees. That way they don't have to kind of like pay any money in cash, but then they are doing two things. They are able to send their children to school, and then they're actually taking plastic waste that could like be killing wildlife, that could be basically. So I don't know if that kind of like gives you some idea of what refi is, and if that answers your question, Emmanuel. So does anyone has like any other question before I proceed? All right. So the next step that I want us to do is, because the registration for ideas will be closing on the 25th, and before then, I want everybody that you know, everyone with your idea, I want you to submit your idea or want to see which one will be accepted. Then when it's accepted, you can build on your idea. So that's another thing you can also try. So as I said, when you're submitting your idea, kindly try preface your idea with like with Nigeria, maybe say remittance solution for Africa. Do it like that. Preface your idea in Nigeria before submitting it, and after make them join. Try to have all of your team members join like the Telegram group. So once you do that and you let me know, I would elevate your role on the Telegram group, and that's so that the Celo representative on our Telegram group, because we have someone who is from the Celo DevRel team, Namdi, on the Telegram group, would know that you have submitted your idea. Fisayo, please go ahead and ask your question. Now, that's the use case of.
Yeah, you don't answer my question. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so for Steven, I can see your question. You say, do you need knowledge on how to build the idea, or can I suggest an idea without having knowledge of how to build it? So if you have an idea and you cannot, damn me. So I say 3 people here say don't have an idea yet. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 people, no idea about. Some people say they don't have an idea yet. All right, no problem. Okay, if you, what I would just do is now that for you, those that don't have idea yet, what I would do is I will create an Excel sheet. I'll create an Excel sheet and I will fill it with like as much idea that I think you can pick from, right? And if you think you want to go with it, just comment by the side, right? And so that someone else does not pick the same thing, right? So it will be fastest finger, to be honest. I will just do like categories, idea, categories, idea, categories, idea. So the ideas will not be in its entirety. It will just be like, inspiration of ideas. It will still be from most things that I've mentioned, like from. Okay, yeah. So Paul says he'll be able to help. If any other person think they'll be able to help, so please signify. I would. So before the end of today or early tomorrow, I would share the. Before more people join, I would share the Excel sheet for ideas, and we can add more idea. And again, once, please, I hope we all get a video recorder. Yeah, I'm recording this session. So again, once you pick the idea on the Excel sheet, once you pick the idea, just signify on it. And so another person do not pick the same thing, just, signify that, idea picked by, I mentioned your team name. And immediately you do that, I would suggest that maybe you develop your idea more by yourself, like maybe just expand on it. It is to help you like bootstrap. It's just like a scaffold which you able to bootstrap your development if you're just getting into Web3 development. That's like the whole idea of Celo Composer. I would want you to like look at this as developer, but in our next, can we choose an idea and build with a team, probably 2 or 3 teams? And in our next workshop, I would like explain how we can